They are nice.
I will be heading out, Cindy will come down at
What time?
since I can't. Cindy will come down.
Just give it a few seconds.
I'm glad you got to see me.
Yeah.
Yeah, our day is complete, Brett, here. Hey. I try and spread a little bit of love everywhere I go. Hey, I'm spreading love, I'm passing off money. What's all about? Yeah, homestead. Yeah, it's still beauty, booty. It's still booty? Yeah, just give that. It'll give us a hoot. There we go.
Cindy can go in and,
Okay.
yeah, more or less. Wanted to make sure.
Boy, you're not leaving, are you?
Yes.
You're quitting? Okay, the reason I'm saying is because the barber resign was leaving here.
Oh, yeah.
And also.
No, I just put
Also,
Yeah. I hope to be across the big bridge about three.
we're Brendan Randolph.
Okay,
For the lane.
they say that, Al is ready to go, so, do you have anything to add, or is this?
Apologize for that. Under correspondence, we have the Association of Counties membership sticker. The sheriff's July 2026 monthly report, under correspondence, letters to the Board of Health and Ludwig. And under new business, Assessor Posner has hired Addison Spencer. And I didn't put on the Parks and Rec Director. We discussed that at the end of last meeting, and when I was doing my minutes, I realized I failed to put that on there. And I believe that's it.
And
Oh, we have AJ here.
the appointment for Tony at 8:45, he is not coming today.
Okay.
She can give us a report, and this because Dutch isn't here as well. So
Okay,
I make a motion that we approve the agenda.
and I'll second that. So, AJ's got a lot of work going on, and I told him he could start the proceedings.
I just feel special. You gotta go ahead and go first. I'll just.
A lot of them.
I just want to stop real quick, because I know there's been questions, where the building's at, different things like that. The new building is probably about 99% done. They've got to finish up a couple things with the electric, it's more punch list stuff at this point. So it's pretty there. You got to see it a little bit last night. Lauren can tell you. It's coming along. It's state of the art as far as even when you get into meeting space, technology, all that kind of thing. Again, I'm looking at it as using it as a regional training center. Various things as far as that, whether it's health department, whether it's sheriff's department, schools, whoever. The clinic side, we're still trying to figure out what we're gonna do with that a little bit. But I'm real happy with it. I think some of the issues we had out there early on, water and different things like that, I think the water seems to be collecting and draining off really well. So I think, we've actually improved the property and hopefully for the neighbors as well. And, right now it's just finishing up the current building because that was part of the grant that I got through HRSA, thanks to Senator Manchin. So we're putting in, the windows, fix the windows. The windows actually, we talked about it for a couple of years, well, several years, that they needed fixed above and below. They were the under the windows and above, they were rotted out. We started pulling things away, it was actually rotting away. So it's good that we're doing what we're doing and putting the new windows and doing all that because that building's gonna be good. The next thing on that will be a roof at some point, but everything else in it has been upgraded and that the old building is going to last as long as that new building at this point. And I'm hoping by the end of September, we'll be done before then, but I was gonna talk with you, start thinking about, I'm not popping circumstance kind of person when it comes to doing the grand openings and all that, but I'm gonna do it.
Better cut the ribbon.
Yeah, we gotta cut the ribbon. So we're gonna cut the ribbon. It's gonna be, start thinking about who we're gonna have as far as that goes, come down. I know I have a list of some people in my head that as far as that goes, but, it's a county project, so I wanna make sure we're doing what we're doing. But I'm looking maybe the end of September, somewhere in there, and, but again, it just depends on how long it takes to finish up these things, because when we reopen, it's gonna be, the whole complex is gonna be complete, not just the back, but I want the whole thing complete. And, I'm very proud of what's happened out there. Mineral County, for the size and everything, we tend to be one of the leaders when it comes to public health in the state. People come to us, to look, for guidance at times. And we are gonna have one of the best complexes in the state, period. So I'm very, very proud of what we've accomplished out there and where we're moving. And, to add on to that, because this is gonna go away from building and stuff. Just to let you know, and I've talked to Roger a little bit about this because he's on our board. We're getting ready to take on, we've taken a lot of regional roles in the region. Whether it's, overseeing emergency preparedness for health departments. We're the lead county for that. We've also become kind of the lead county for health departments overall. We've recently, in the past year, gotten a grant that we house the regional epidemiologist now, who's our Mineral County employee. We are getting ready to take over WIC for the Eastern Panhandle. There'll be five counties, in the Eastern Panhandle that Mineral County will oversee.
Wow.
And, my goal is, at the end of the day, to have that be we will be the model agency.
What five? I know you told me before.
Jefferson, Berkeley, Morgan, Hampshire, and Mineral. So we are in the transition phase right now, and of course, it's on a federal grant, so it starts October 1. And that grant it's a stable grant. That grant annually is a little over 1.5 million. I'll be bringing on 18 to 20 additional employees. That's huge. And like I said, it further, it is something that is public health. It's out of our mainstream public health, but it is public health. And I feel that it's a service that we can expand upon and make better, not just for us, but for the whole region.
Yeah.
And, again, the goal is to, expand and grow. And if you're not doing that, then why are you doing it? Is my thought. You do it right for the time of moving. So, we'll see how it goes. It's gonna be a headache for a while. But, I like challenges, so. But
I can't get her, just got off of that building project, or they're getting that tonight.
yeah, pretty much. And then before that was COVID, and then before that, there's always something, so.
I can get Bill Hours over here, watching.
Yeah,
I'm joking.
yeah.
Watching the baby.
Yeah, Bill's my brother, and,
Are you serious or?
no, we are like brothers. Bill and I started literally 2 weeks from each other and have had similar paths. But
I was gonna give you a hug if he was really your brother.
no, he's not my pilot.
He's good.
Yeah.
Just like he is.
Yeah, but, no, so we, like I said, we're gonna expand staff, we're gonna do some things. I talked with our board about last night. Again, it's a grant that I'd already went and got. And there's actually potential to expand the funds for that grant, depending on how we do with it and different things like that. But right now, it's like 1.505 is what I believe the area is with the grant. And, but it'll help us in the long run, as far as being financially stable, doing some other things, which we're stable now. Because we've worked on that, like we've talked before. It's been 20 years of getting us to where we're at, and we just continue to work. So that's kind of what I have, unless you guys have any questions. Like I said, I'll be ready when the headache's done. This has been 4.5 years of dealing with this building, and I'm ready to move on to something else. So.
Can I add something? Since your public health is ways, you're considering nutrition as part of it. We've had the flash flood situation in Lewis and Upshur County. And over there, one of the things they had happen was both grocery stores were shut down, 2 feet of water, Shop and Save, Walmart washed, and contaminated wells, and the list goes on of all the stuff that was going on. And, one of the things that I picked up over there was, you know, when they started searching Weston, they were getting the people. But some people had stuff washed away, they couldn't even get out of their house. They weren't getting washed away by themselves, you know, but they just couldn't get over the culvert because it was gone and all this other stuff. So, you know, a lot of people have been saying that we need to start pushing like 72 hours. It's on you deal where you get 72 hours of food and water. Cause I mean, they might not get to you in 24 hours. National Guard and everybody else is checking, but you know, they're gonna get to you because they do. And so that's, you know, just a little thing that they've been talking about for Office of Emergency Management. And just that way, I mean, if worse comes to worse, you're stranded and, you know, and have a whole list of stuff, you know, blankets, flashlights. We've already got all that stuff. It's just a matter of pushing it. But, you know, if you're stuck there for 2 days, you know, you can survive and then they knock on your door, y'all okay? Yeah, but we gotta get out and get some food. And a lot of times when they're searching like that, they'll have MREs, et cetera, and they're giving some order to tell them where the Kroger is to go get stuff.
And that's a lot of things, and we're fortunate here, unfortunate, I mean, as far as the amount of flood control dams that we have in Mineral County, I think we have one of the higher concentrations across the state. That's why, I mean, we get flash floods, but some of the things we had, you know, back in the day, we don't have as much of that. Whereas you go to other places and you get this, it's year after year. But one of the things that we have emergency preparedness portion on our website, and it talks about be ready, and it's actually from beready.gov. But you know, what to do as far as you know, having an emergency kit and food on hand and water and, you know, things that you should do for short term. So it does talk about.
But y'all's situation has, when y'all had the methane over here at the bridge and it backed up into the fresh water. I use that all the time, telling folks, you know, and also I was talking to some of the guys at National Guard, they had a change of command ceremony and stuff. Sorry. But I was saying that when they got backed up over here and went into the fresh water, the particular got in there and he had to shut down. I said, if they hadn't had their tank full for people to have water, there'd been a mess. And so, you know, a lot of people were also saying that, you know, you gotta start getting some of this stuff out of the stream, whether it's timber that piles up or sediment, you know, because they used to take care of them to an extent when they got real bad. But now it's one of these things, you know, like the waters in the United States, you can't put your foot in it unless you get clearance from somebody.
Well, the good thing that we have, and then I'm gonna get out of here, the good thing that we have around here is I believe with all of our first responders and community and everything, we come together to take care of our own. So when things like this happen, whether it's fires, whether it's when we had the nursing home up there, I mean, it's all of us, because even I'm getting calls, hey, but even within, it's like, I get a call, hey, can you bring, yup, I'll be there in a minute, let me run, you know, go get what we gotta get. Same with COVID, you know, working with the sheriff's department, fire departments, everyone that was involved with that, you know, pharmacies, hospitals. We come together to take care of our own, and we do it very well. I think we do it better than a lot in this area.
Under two.
So that is a plus that we do that. And I'm not saying others don't, but just from what I've seen here, I think we do a real good job.
Before you take off, and with the sheriff too, is there anything else that Lewis or Upshur needs help with still, or do they need any donations of anything?
Not that I've been told. Upshur closed down their donation center at the auxiliary gym at Westland because the students were coming back. They redistributed to different churches and also the Kroger, which is where right across behind McDonald's at exit 99, where they were having all the trucks and everything come for those folks. And I mean, they're also the National Guard. I was in one of the briefings over there last week. They And they, I think they've got about 90% of the demolition, not the demolition, excuse me, debris that is been put out at the streets and the big piles. They're gonna, somebody's got to haul it off. But they said that the next thing they'll start coming is, debris from construction, people trying to renovate. But they're trying to keep a handle on, keep expenses down with the governor's office.
Watching the weather this morning, it looks like middle of the state's gonna get hit again, so. You see anything on that?
We got hit last night,
Yeah.
bad.
It is pretty interesting. But like I said, then the other thing that we have, I think over the years, we've gotten even the equipment to respond and you know, as far as some of the stuff you guys have, the stuff that the health department's gotten over the years. And matter of fact, I think JJ uses part of it and, you know, whether it's tents, trailers, you know, some of the other things we have, there's a lot of things that we have to help everyone respond to these events, so. But anyways, that's sidetracking, as far as that goes, but we got a lot going on. And then we're getting them, you know, back to school, flu, all that good stuff's hitting right now, so it's gonna be a busy fall. And, but like I said, start thinking of lists of, you know, as far as that goes, and we'll go from there, and I'll get with you guys offline and try to figure out, you know, get that together.
You know, where you're talking about flood control dams, you know, the one up at Timber Lakes is dry,
Yeah,
pretty much dry.
yeah,
They're getting ready to, I don't know when they're gonna start, they're gonna dig that out, make it bigger, because it's not real deep.
yeah.
That was up there yesterday, Ted.
How are they doing as far as I
I'm
know?
not sure how they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But there's nothing in it.
I've never seen water in it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there has been, but I've
Yeah,
never
they've
seen.
been watering it, but there's maybe a pool in there by the side of this room. There's not much in it, but yeah, I've seen water there before. But it's not a real big dam, but a lot of runoff up there.
Well, that going all the way up through there. You go up, I mean, you know, Tanglewood, Timberlake, you know, Great Oak, like that whole, it's clay all the way up through there. It's not like the water soaks in, it literally
Runs off.
Yeah.
People don't realize how many flood control dams there are here up at Creek.
Yeah.
There's a bunch.
So. But
At the state,
Huh?
in the state.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about here in Mineral County, up into Grant. There's a lot of flood control dams. Okay, is that it?
that's all I have. Anybody else have anything before I take off?
Thank you, AJ.
Thank you, appreciate it.
No problem. Now, I'll tell Bill that you want to come over and hang out for a day.
Oh, hey.
I know.
We'll talk.
Hey, we love you to death.
All right, see you guys.
See ya.
Okay, now I'm going to back up for a minute and, cause I want to get AJ, he needed to go. Jason, myself and Jennifer's here, Lauren, and, I see Dutch is on Zoom. Huh? So we'll call this meeting to order now. We've already approved it. We've already approved the agenda, yeah, but I didn't call what I'm saying. Take a look at your minutes.
Yeah.
Huh?
I was just welcoming Jennifer to her first meeting.
Oh, yeah, I never thought about that, they're welcome. Have you had a chance to look over the minutes?
Yes, I did look through the July 28th minutes.
Yes.
I would make the motion to approve the July 28th meeting.
I'll second.
Hey, can you guys hear me? At the beginning of those minutes, it has July 28th, and then there's something about the July 23rd, sworn under my hand, July 23rd or something like that. Should that date be different?
That's the date that the agenda goes out.
Okay.
Okay, we'll move on down to public comments. Anybody got any comments? Correspondence, West Virginia Association of Counties. This,
Oh, we used to have a plaque and they'd send a little sticker to change here on the plaque.
whatever happened?
It was on the wall moved. We could have them send us a new one if you want, but. They actually sent each person a new sticker.
All
They
right,
can save themselves money and just.
yeah. So we got the sheriff's July report. As you look at the last page, I see we got more money we know what to do with, right? Okay. Then we'll go down and have, me get caught up there. You got the Office of Assessors report. Of everything that's been collected. We also have the dog warden, report where she fixed up 11 cats, 37/1 cat carryover. 11 dogs, I'm sorry, 37 cats and 11 dogs. He was responding to 105 complaints. And, 2 rabies specimens sent in for testing, but no positive return, so that's a good thing. Mineral County Emergency Management Services Department, we have a report on that.
Actually, total responses and
Yeah, total 68, total calls, transport 16, so they've been kind of busy on that. Total income back into the county was $800. Let me catch up. I don't know what we're gonna do about this, because this is gonna take a bite out of our budget, but our jail bill for the month of July was $55,461.65. So.
Hey.
Fine, that's what it was several years ago, and what can we do to drop it? Okay, you have, credit on it for $914.94.
that road dropped it in.
Yeah, done, almost done. And, we have a letter here from, to be, Craig Cox wants to be reappointed to the NREMS to represent Middle County. Okay, and then we go on down.
He attached a copy of his resume.
Yeah, see that.
He's been on that, board for several years.
That is the National Registry of Emergency. Yeah, medical tech, yeah, response.
That's just what I found.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we go down to Richland Volunteer Fire Department. Steve Shipley wants to be, he wants us to, also approve Vanessa Mangold as an alternative.
To the air.
To the end story, yeah.
These are just letters catching up on some appointments. Gary Rice appointed to the Potomac Valley Transit Authority. And then, William Ludwig reappointed to the Board of Health.
They've already been appointed.
Yes, these are just their letters for their files.
All right. We'll go into Commission Board of Correspondence. We've already been through them. Let me get caught up here. Right hand is not working the best. Neither is my opinion. Okay, we're up to old business. Board appointments. You want to wait till the end of the month or when the Dutch is here to do it, or what do you do?
We got Craig for the
With Craig and
Shipley for,
no, not Shipley, the Google.
well, Shipley, it was first requested. Shipley is a representative and Vanessa as a.
As an alternate. You want to make your motion?
I'll make a motion that we, reappoint Craig Cox to the NREMS.
I'll second.
Then I make a motion that we.
You want Steve?
Reinstate Steve Shipley and Vanessa.
Yes.
Well, Steve is the representative and then they have to
Vanessa's
name
alternative.
two, so Vanessa was their alternative.
Okay, I make a motion that we accept Steve's reappointment and Vanessa as an alternative.
We just appointed one.
And I'll second it, but now, the way that should be, instead of stating your position, you're not supposed to do that. That's how that was wrote up, you submit two or three
You guys
names,
get picked.
we get to pick.
Yeah.
That's how that's supposed to be done. And, okay. Update on the courthouse courtroom, did you ever get another estimate?
We did not, so,
Daniel, or Nathan, never did you? Daniel, the possibility.
no, we've only, been contacted by Tony from the, your hometown handyman. And so we met with him a couple times, actually, met with him yesterday morning as well. And just as I have been looking through, you know, what we need, I guess, in order to get a bid. We're running into some questions. So it looks like the drawings that we originally had, I guess from the architect, they don't clearly, it doesn't give us a clear plan of what we are going to be able to do. We have a lot of questions. They're just, for example, there are heaters on the outside wall of the courtroom, registers from the boiler that have to stay in place unless we expect, have them removed, which would take a large portion of the budget. Yeah. So the drawings show the jury box butted up against that outside wall where those heating registers are. So we're running into some things like that where the drawings aren't exactly what we are wanting to do with the courtroom. So.
So the drawings are a rendering, they're not a mechanical.
Well, right, so that's the first thing. Second thing is in the packet of drawings and, there's no electrical, electrical drawing for where any of those drops will need to be, future, current future, anything like that. Nothing with any kind of measurements, anything like that. So it's really making it difficult for anyone to bid, which may be why we're not getting other folks wanting to bid. I really think we need to kind of look at those things, and we kind of have a list of things, actually that Tony brought up with us, which we, kind of knew already, that are gonna have to be kind of, decided before, I feel like, before we can get some good bids. Just, speaking about materials and things like that. So it's something, I'd like to kind of take a look at, see what questions we need answered, address some of those things, and then we're gonna have to decide how to move forward, whether it be work with Tony or someone, another contractor to, kind of give us new drawings or, things like that. But we really kind of need to answer questions about the scope of work as well, meaning materials and what we are gonna be able to do and what we're not, the budget as well. That was another question I had.
It was the one that drew the original.
Concrete.
Oh,
And you can see on the drawings, it says, it's a preliminary, preliminary concept, so it's not actual, drawings of the things that a contractor will need. It doesn't have the, in my experience, I've seen that the electrical layout, the, you know, and a lot of times we have the IT layout, which we've got that from the state. And then things like, with the measurements as far as casework goes, you know, the, you know, measurements from wall to where casework would start, things like that. There's just a lot of that stuff's not in here, so it's not included in that packet, so it's making it hard, I think, for someone to bid the project, so.
Jonathan never showed up.
No, we've only heard from Tony. So, again, I think we need to answer these questions before we can even have the contractor bid it. And I don't know that the answer is to start over with concrete. You know, I don't know how long that process would take. I just have a lot of questions. And so maybe that's something we can talk about and, you know, make some decisions and decide how to move forward, just to kind of get the
We
project
need to really
moving.
be moving.
Yes, we do. That's my concern.
So the question will be, do we wanna hire Tom to get us the working drawings of the materials and all that stuff so contractors can bid properly, or do we wanna have somebody else do those drawings and materials list and all that?
And with the understanding that Tom is gonna, I mean, he's basically, I think, gonna have to start over because the drawings that he did are not representing what we want to have done exactly, so.
I'll get a hold of Tom.
Okay, I mean, I would
After the meeting, Joe.
expect to sit down with him and go over the things that we're missing, you know, myself, because
He
we're,
needs to.
yes, in order to do it right. You know, we just, it's not, we don't have what we need,
Okay.
to get the project.
Yeah, I'll get a hold of it.
Okay.
But my understanding is then we have to go back to the Supreme Court to get all
Well,
that
yes,
approved.
so I have a call out from Melissa from the state to talk about what those things, the ins and outs, because I don't know those things as well, so. Yeah, I just don't wanna delay it anymore, you know, they're trying to figure out, you know, decide what action to take so we can move forward.
Okay. Have you done anything on the Mellons at the party hall?
So, okay.
Wasn't Dutch working on that?
Yeah.
Well, he gave a statement the last meeting. I didn't know if anything was done on that or not.
I don't think anything was decided from the last meeting.
Dutch, can you hear us? Did you find out
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of gave you guys an idea, rundown of cost. I thought we was going to move forward with that, getting millings off of all seasons. And I was just going to spread them myself. Of course, no cost. I mean, I'd do that myself and get them rolled in and everything. And I believe I said that I'm on vacation this week, of course, when I get back from vacation, and probably have to do it on a Saturdays that the parking lot's empty and less interference with traffic and stuff. So right now I'm shooting for next Saturday after I get back.
There's a little discussion about the cost if we went ahead and just had a blacktop too. Was anything looked into that?
No, I have not got any pricing on blacktop. But I'm pretty certain the blacktop, you're going to run $20,000-$30,000 or more. And if we use the millings, we're looking at about $2,000 or $3,000 to put millings down.
I think we ought to go, I think we should go with the Mellons.
So,
And you said 100 tons with free delivery?
Yes, 100 tons, $1,900 for 100 tons, and that will cover the parking lot there next to the annex. And then I didn't know if you wanted to try to do behind our annex, the administrative annex, which would run about half of that to do back there, if you wanted to do back there.
Yeah, so that would about roughly be then about $950 then for the back. About $1,000 for the back behind you.
You
Yes.
can't on the same Saturday, can you?
What's that?
You do all that in the same day,
Yeah,
both lots?
yeah, they can bring them all the same day.
so there is an issue still, with the parking lot at the annex that electrical pole is still there, and we've been in contact with Fair Chance to have it removed. They told us they're working with their phone.
There's no lines on it, or?
No, that, we just confirmed that they, electric company removed the lines, the meter's gone, it's all ready to be removed, and we notified Fair Chance, I think the week before last, to let them know that, and they've been aware, and we just are waiting for them to remove it. They said they're having an issue with their, I guess, subcontractor that they have to do that work, so if we're looking to next Saturday to have the lot done, should we have someone else take it out?
I talked to Fair Chance, I talked to Zach and told him if this guy can't get in there to take it down, that I would take the pole down and just set it to the side somewhere that they can get their stuff off of it if we're ready to take care of that parking lot. So go ahead and get it out of the way. I called my contact with Potomac Edison after our last meeting, and he said that line was supposed to have been unhooked months ago, and there's an issue with the accounting system at their home. It's been a big nightmare on their side, evidently, on all this. They're saying it's unhooked in the office, and physically it was hooked up, but he got a guy over there and got it unhooked for us and got it taken care of. Now all we gotta do is get Fair Chance to get that pole and stuff out of there, which I'll take it out if it's still there whenever I'm ready to do the parking lot.
All right, I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Judge. Roger just made a motion to do both of them. I want to second that.
Both, and that's with all seasons?
Yeah, with whoever Dutch contacts you, yeah. It needs done.
I'll have them submit a bill submit an invoice to the county directly. And I'll also need to rent a roller. I think I can get one from up at Boggs. Is it okay to use the P card to pay for that, or do you want them just to submit a bill to the invoice to the county as well?
Either way.
Okay,
Now-
I just don't want any money going through my hands. So,
Right. Well, since all seasons, Nathan's an employee, do we have to get anything from the Ethics Commission on that, a waiver or anything?
this is something that I don't understand. Whenever I talk to the Ethics Commission about renting the building off of him, our sheriff's department renting the building off of him, and I have it in an email that they said, if he is not making any decisions or influencing any decisions within the county, there is no need to get an ethics opinion on it. And he is not in any position. He is a part-time employee, and he is not in any position to make any decisions at all. He's just given us a better deal on materials than what anybody else is.
So Roger made the motion, do you vote?
I second.
And yeah, give you permission to get the roller. Yep. Okay. Health Working Facility. AJ Gibby's report this morning is coming along real good, so about 99% done. We'll set the date up in September to have the ribbon cutting and everything. Dutch, you got anything on the opioid funding, or you want to leave it go now?
Just leave that go for right now. I do have a thing from 3D Recovery. I need to get that stuff gathered up, and I had a couple questions for him. The next meeting, I'll have some stuff from 3D Recovery.
All right, good deal. An update on the Marl Line project. I attended the meeting a week ago, Sunday, and they're wanting to, and they want the commission. I talked to some of the people who'd like to see the commission get a little bit more involved. I was going to call the other three counties, and I haven't had time, some things going on. But I would like to write a letter from Mineral County Commission and let them know again that we 100% oppose this coming through our county to support our people. One gentleman over there said that this line was going to come 13 yards from his house. There's no way I'd want that. So that's what So what's your thoughts on writing a letter and sending to the PSC in Charleston?
I'm in favor of writing a letter and sending it to PSC, and I'll make that motion.
I'll second that. Thank you.
I agree.
Okay. The mold, you know anything about the mold removal?
Yes. So basically, Fogs did everything that we had approved them to do, with the closets. And we just need now to decide how to move forward with the rest of the list. We kind of looked at the ceiling tiles already because we found some, we found some in, that we already had on hand, but they were damaged as well. So then we found some that would work in that office that were left over from another project, but not enough to replace. But then we were able to find, that same type of tile from Menards, and we also have a credit there, so we could buy enough tile to do the hallway, which is the only part that has the drop ceiling and that is damaged, water damaged, for around $100, just over $100. And then to have a few tiles, extra to spare to have on hand, if we need them for, replacements there or in the other area. So that's
dollars is above the credit, is that true?
yes, that would be, yes, over, without, without credit. But it was like around 180, and then we have like a $72 credit, so we just over 100. So if we thought that would be a good place to start, if you guys, would, are okay with that and approve that, but then we need to decide, I guess, what to do as far as the other areas go.
I do make a motion that we at least buy the ceiling tile stuff and fix that out.
I'll second it. Yeah.
In the other section, maybe when Dutch gets back, we can talk about.
Okay.
Is that okay with you, Dutch?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Question about that, because the concern was that the walls supposedly need to be tore out, but then they ended up just putting paint over top of them. Did they give an explanation of why now that they felt painting over it was okay?
I don't know that they did. I think that it was decided in a meeting that we didn't want to pay for them to tear a wall and replace.
No, that's why we had them do it instead of our staff, because they were gonna have the staff do it, but they were afraid what the staff would find when they tore out the walls. Our staff could have painted, but they said they were gonna have to tear out the walls, and they weren't sure what they were gonna find when they tore out the walls, and that's why we paid them to do it. And that's why we didn't have our staff just paint it, so then they came in and just painted it.
Yeah, I
We paid them $7,000 to paint.
Well, that was the first estimate they gave us included the tear out of the walls. And we were told to go back and ask them to give us a smaller work scope that was more affordable. And that's what they gave us, and that's what was passed out and approved. It says in there, no tearing out of walls, just general sanitizing and painting. That's what, and then additional mold testing. They did do additional mold testing in all areas again, including the airport.
But originally it was like 21,000, that was to tear out the walls. And then 7 was just to do the 2 closets, but the question still came about that they were gonna be tearing out walls, and that's why they didn't wanna expose this maintenance staff to what might be behind those walls.
It's in we went back and looked at it as well because we questioned why.
Yeah, I think we were talking about the last meeting, because we were like, they just paint it over it,
And that's
so
all
you
they
paid
did.
$7,000 for them to paint.
And that was what was in the contract we
And
signed.
it says general disinfection and application of antimicrobial paint, to adversely affected wood wall paneling. That's what the second quote
We
says.
definitely need more clarification before we have them do anything else.
I think we voted not to move forward with
Well, that's
that.
what we're just talking about now, rather than what else we might have to do.
Yeah,
So the remaining things are, Amy's office, it was removal of water damage, stains, damaged carpeting throughout the space. And then hallway adjoining, hallway where bathrooms 1 and 2 are, then bathroom 1 and 2 is just general disinfection and application of antimicrobial paint to the wood at cabinet sink, magistrate's office, general disinfection and application of antimicrobial paint. The wood wall ceiling frame, so that's just disinfection and paint. And then the secretary's office would be removal of vinyl cover base with superficial microbial growth. And that, so those things, that's what's left, so. Guess we just need to decide what we want them to do, from what we got list. If you want. Wait until Dutchess are. Okay.
We need to seriously look at the area and what's actually being performed before we go pay thousands of dollars, you know.
Okay. Anything on the celebration 1050 years?
I've just been carrying that over just because it seems like there's been little events that's been going on and we've just kind of mentioned them as the year goes on, since it's a year-long event, but kind of seems like things have really died down on that, so if you want, I could just go and remove that from future meetings.
If you want to, if anybody got anything to report, they can just report it. That's a good idea. Okay, change the Comcast lines here. Agreement. So,
That's what this is.
Yeah, this is the current accounts that we have. And on the top one there is community corrections, which Tara handles. Then there's our regular accounts. Down in the middle where it's shaded out, those are the ones that are being closed or are closed. And then down on the bottom is actually the PRI digital phone system. And then Tammy and Jennifer's had calls with Mr. Ham.
What's the, do you have a copy of that I can have?
It's in your packet.
It's on that, good deal. That digital phone system, I was wondering about that from the
Yeah.
others.
The biggest part of the bill is 911.
yeah,
I missed the last conversation because I was not in that day, but it kind of seems like we're right back at the beginning of where we were. I think Mr. Ham, I don't think he's, I got the intention of these meetings was to review all of the county accounts and see what would work best to consolidate or minimize our bills. And understand from the last conversation, we're right back at the beginning. So, I don't know if you didn't just quite understand what the intentions were.
Well, I kind of came into the middle of this.
Right.
So I would,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, I think it's worth sitting down with him, with myself now to have a little more,
Yes.
Understanding of what is where. I need a better understanding of what lines we have where,
Yeah.
just for that purpose, to make better
And
sense.
talk to Cindy has, she can get you copies of any of these invoices.
Okay,
If you want copies of all these invoices, you can kind of look over them.
yeah, that'd be great.
That would be probably helpful for you too.
Yeah, that would be great. And that's gonna help, I think that'll help, with Joel's request as well. For the dedicated line, 1 gig line for their, cameras. We got a quote for that, which I brought to the meeting, but, it may be worth, once we get a good look at what we have where, and what we're using, the purpose for what we're using, maybe we can make a better decision.
Well, in that first conversation we had, Jordan and Joel were not there in that meeting. And, we kept discussing, I was like, whoa, you gotta talk to Sheriff about it. Whoa, you gotta talk to Jordan about that. It's
Yeah,
like,
and
so it's like,
I kind of put the brakes on that, but maybe
Yeah.
it was premature, because they were, what Brian from Comcast mentioned, Jordan, was that you guys have a PRI at the 911 center, you may be able to basically have a pipe from, there to the sheriff's office and share some of that bandwidth for, Joel. But when I talked to Brian, he said you guys only have an 800 meg pipe there, you would need a gig. You know what I mean? So it's kind of turning into a bigger thing. But maybe it's something that we can do at a better cost than just installing the dedicated line. I'm not sure, so.
We don't have the bandwidth to share.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. If we did that, cause I told him we couldn't take anything away from 911, from 911. So that would be something they would have to bump up the speed and dedicate it to the sheriff's office. I don't know how they do that or if they can do that. So maybe it is worth having that call, Brian, and you guys on the line as well, you know, to understand, because like I said, I kind of, you know, jumped the gun and took that off the table, but, I think we need to explore the option just for cost.
I was also concerned with the two being linked together, that if one goes down, they both go down.
I have two other contingencies in the 911 center. However, with our Intrado phone system that we're gonna go live with in 2 months, it is all internet based. So my bandwidth might still need to be increased, but we don't know the draw essentially quite yet of what it's going to require. I just had a meeting with Intrado yesterday with their technical support to do our go live. And, they're looking at all of our ups and downs when it comes to the internet world to see if we have the capability now or if we need to find a way to increase. But if we're together and one goes down, we do have 2 other contingencies in the center, so we'll continue to operate. But I need to see what our draw is gonna be on that bandwidth before we can even have the conversation about moving together. But I need to hear from Intrado to see what the requirements are. Right now, we meet their baseline requirements,
Okay,
but I don't like being at their bare minimum requirement. I want it to be top, so. I'm waiting, their technical team is supposed to meet this week, and then the beginning of next week, I have another progress meeting with them about the project, and that's when I'll know
okay,
what is essentially required when it comes to the internet.
okay. Okay, so yeah, I think once you find that out, then we can, you know, look at what possibilities we may be able to do, may or may not, you know, that was my main concern, was we can't take away from the 911 center, so they have to somehow segregate that data to dedicate it to the sheriff's office.
Right now, my first port is at 1 gig. My basic bandwidth plan is right now is at 700.
Okay,
So I would probably have to be increasing that.
yeah, okay. So just keep that in mind for the discussion, yes.
Yes. All right, how about the advanced computer system here that you got to discuss?
So they provided a quote, basically, when they installed the system 5 years ago, they covered the system and phones for 5 years, and that service contract is expiring the end of this month. So they gave us a quote for what we may want to do moving forward. But I wanted to see what we were paying, you know, for that service agreement. And so I'm still working through that, because they gave us different options, so, you know, we're gonna have to choose one of these options. And I wanted to see what we're currently paying, you know, to try to help decide which option we would like to take.
When does this need to be done by?
Just by the end of August. So if we can, you know, I can have a look into it, unless you guys.
I think you should make sure Doug's is here so he can see the numbers as well.
Yeah. And so Cindy gave me, some information on what we pay Advantage. But I haven't had a chance to look through the line items to see if I can figure out which line item is for the service agreement. If not, I may have to go back to Frank, but in any event, I'd like to find that out first before we decide how we want to move forward.
And our concern too is we're getting old invoices, and then we have to go through and check the prior paid invoices, make sure we're not duplicating, because if we got invoices the other day, March, so then we're going to clear back. We're looking at all the invoices we've paid since then, just to make sure we're not duplicating. And, we need one current invoice here too. But we got till the end of August then?
End of August, yeah.
Now, this figure you got on item B, did you look at the figures here you got?
Yeah,
Now, that's savings, that's incorrect if you're taking.
I have questions about how he quoted this too.
Yeah,
I don't understand exactly what he's.
If you're from 1 year to 3 years, you got
Yeah,
a $33,790 savings, that's not correct.
right, yeah.
It's a lot more than that.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring this, with me, but with the understanding that we still have some work to do with them to determine what,
Yeah.
you know, what we want to do. How we want to move.
Okay, so we're gonna wait a little while
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I'm
for the
gonna
next
for
commission.
the next meeting, that's what I think.
Yeah, get all the information for the next meeting. That's fine.
And Cindy's already gathering that for you.
She gave me some information on Friday, and I just need to look.
If it's not enough, let us know, we can keep digging.
Okay, thank you. No, good.
you know. All right, building safety committee.
At the last meeting, I gave you the ordinance and the code section, which showed the membership. And then you guys just need to work on who's gonna fill those memberships. Chief, the fire chief, the health officer, we talked to AJ, whether it's gonna be him or a designee.
Oh, I haven't talked. It's too much fun, but I can do that.
So if we don't have anything on that next meeting.
Yes.
Next thing was the request approval change. I have not gotten anywhere with that. Like you said, too much going on.
Okay.
Where were you looking to move?
Well, the two that, I moved the last precinct, so that's.
So what do you?
Nothing on that next meeting.
Do next meeting.
And the next meeting, we have to have the, ballot. in place.
Ballot draw.
Ballot draw, and then that goes to print on the 26th.
Yeah. It's gonna be a small ballot. It's gonna be a very small ballot.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. Well, some of the Board of Ed and the executive committees and those were all decided in the primary.
Yeah, I know.
So it's, yeah, it's gonna be small and based on the turnout that we had in the primary, and of course with the courtroom situation, we're gonna do early voting in the clerk's office. So,
In your,
yep,
okay. You don't have nothing else on that?
no,
Emergency grant. Furnace quote.
Oh, energy grant.
Next year.
So we did receive, two quotes in addition to the Royal Air quotes. I'll get those to you guys. We have received a quote from Harper's and then Dave Watts.
okay. So clarification though, I said at the last meeting, we provided the 3 different quotes because there's 3 different units.
Mhm.
And each one of those is gonna be $18,000 and the grant is only
15,000.
15,000.
Yes, which is why we asked for additional quotes from other companies. And so these other quotes are also for the 3 furnaces. They're a good bit lower to the sheets. Yeah.
Is this your original?
Yeah, let me switch this.
Just,
These are the quotes.
you scan the Dutch or did you already send the Dutch? Okay.
I just, recommend we hold off until, Commissioner Staggs can see it.
Yeah, I think.
Because what's the deadline on this grant?
If we can.
I'm not certain. I'll look at that right away as well.
Yeah,
The deadline.
I can't remember. I can't see the end. I know you said that.
Oh.
I couldn't remember if you mentioned it. I don't know if that's the meeting or not.
The deadline.
I know we've sent the progress reports. For some reason, I was thinking it was the end of the year. I don't know.
Okay, so we have
I'll
it
find out.
Yeah,
I'll find out for sure though.
Mr. Duckworth is supposed to be here this afternoon to give a quote as well. So that'll be one more.
And do we have to replace all 3? I mean, the units are working, and I know they were old when we bought the building. I knew that then. But if we don't actually have to replace all 3.
I need, look at the verbiage in the grant to see if, specifically says that you have to do all 3, or if we just do what we can.
Definitely better quotes, though.
Yeah.
Mhm. So we'll put that on hold for the next meeting.
Yep. Unless the verbiage changed, we have to have an emergency work session.
All right.
Thank you for doing that.
We'll move down to the petroleum price program for certain states.
This just came in the mail and Tammy sent it up to Cindy. Cindy sent it to me and I put it on the agenda, so. Really, haven't even read over it.
So it's, all it is basically is just a letter that they give us at the beginning of our contract year. Just locking in the price for the fuel for the dog warden. So basically, you know, just saying this is gonna be the price that they, you know, it can't change for the prior or the upcoming year. And it just, I guess, looks like we've just signed it in the past to lock in that price.
Okay, so what we need to do to agree on the price and lock it up.
You wanna make a motion to accept it and authorize the president to sign, or
Where is the right here?
I guess it's $1.7.9
$70.9.
per gallon.
That's not too bad.
That's not too bad, that's what I was thinking. Cause I thought, well, what if it drops later in the year? We want the lower price. I thought, oh, well, that looking pretty.
Unless, Dutch wanted us to wait and look at the numbers themselves, I will. Do you have any thoughts there, Dutch? Or you want us to go ahead and approve it? It's $1.07 a gallon.
I should say $1.71.
$1.70, sorry.
$1.71.
Yeah. I don't even know if you still on that.
Now.
Sorry, guys. What'd you say? I've got sidetracked.
No, it's the propane for the bid for
The dog pound,
the dog pound. And it's $1.71 a gallon. Would you like to look at that before we approve it, or?
it locks us in for that price for the year.
That's to have it delivered.
Yes.
Yes.
That sounds like a fair price to me.
Right.
I make a motion that we approve the $1.71 a gallon.
And authorize the president to sign.
Authorize the president to sign.
No, second it too.
I'll second that.
I'll do it.
Thanks, Dutch.
Assessors approved hire Allison Spencer. Has been hired to fill the position, vacant position there at, the assessor's office.
Make a motion, we approve Alice Spencer for the assessor's office.
I'll second that. Okay,
The next item, I didn't have it on the agenda for approval, but for discussion.
all right, I'm gonna go get one. See what she wants to be known.
Everyone good?
If she said,
No, I'm doing.
Yeah, that's fine.
We can put her on the spot.
That's the next item. If you don't have, oh, you have. That's on the agenda. That's not on the one that was sent to you, was discussion on Parks and Rec director title.
I'll be honest, I always thought she was titled as a director, and I mean, I don't see an issue with her having the title of director. I don't know why that's an issue.
She's been doing the work of the director.
yep, she has.
Yeah, I agree. Since it was just put on the agenda last minute, we
Yeah,
probably have to
because
vote on it.
I forgot to put it on the agenda until I was doing my minutes, and then I was like,
Yeah.
so.
I didn't hear what that said.
Dutch says he's always thought that she's had that title.
Yeah, I did too. So what do you think? What do you want to be known as?
Well, she said by the bylaws.
The bylaws, it says that you're supposed to be,
You're supposed to be what?
that we're supposed to have a director in our bylaws.
Yeah. I think you're doing everything good.
Yeah, I agree. I think the next meeting we can make it official. Hear any complaints from the citizens? I'm just kidding.
What's your next upcoming event?
I'm supposed to meet with the city, so I don't know if we'll do Halloween or not.
But then after that, it'll be Frosty Fest,
Yeah,
right?
it'll be Christmas.
Well, I know this year at the Strawberry Fest, it was a huge turnout. It was very good, I thought.
Yeah, I have a parks conference in October and then it'll be Halloween and then Christmas.
So you would like to be known as director?
I'd say I'm the director. Because
I
it
do,
sounds-
that's
People
what,
don't understand what I say when it's I'm the program manager, because then they ask who the director is, and I'm like, well, it's me. and
Well-
it's not me.
if you would like to be known as director, I'll,
Well, according to the bylaws, they're supposed to have a director.
I think we ought to put that on the agenda for the next meeting to vote on
Official
her.
motion.
Official motion is to vote on her as the director. Okay, is that good for you? Now, I'm not saying there's a pay raise going that you might have to help us out.
I definitely didn't assume that I would get that.
Cody, thanks for everything you do.
Yeah,
We really do.
good job.
The city is, the previous mayor could say enough great things about us.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Cody, for coming over. All right. You got anything for executive session?
Don't,
I don't.
I had it on there and I was like, I don't know if there was or wasn't, because I couldn't remember if somebody asked or not.
I don't.
I was just kind of throwing things together.
I
So
was
not-
wondering what you
Okay.
discussed in executive session. So that brings us down to the court manager's report.
So. The only thing that I think that we didn't discuss, as we were through. Old business, new business is just a couple things, with the courthouse, there was the main door to the courthouse, there was still some work that needed to be done, it needed to be switched, from one side, one side to the other, and then the door reader would have to be moved, so, Fair Chance and, Advantage and Cumberland Glass are coming this week to do that work, they're coming together to do both things and get that completed.
Who's coming again? Cumberland Glass.
Glass, Advantage, because they do the door reader, door access, they have to change the reader from one side to the other. And then,
On that, so they're moving, it's already in the panel on the outside.
Yeah.
And they're gonna move it over here. But it's not gonna be used for the day, it's just for the evening and for the first person that comes in the morning to unlock it. So is it really necessary to put a hole in the panel just to move it for really nothing?
I guess so you can control it electronically, you know what I mean, you can set a time for it to automatically unlock or lock and.
But do they actually have to move that
I think,
panel to
I think
do
the
it?
wiring has to go to the mechanism, from the panel to the mechanism in the door, so
They
it has to
can't
be
just
right.
Run it around?
Probably have to tunnel out of that concrete, you know what I mean, or whatever the siding, I don't know.
Well, I would actually get confirmation on that. I mean, I got to thinking about that, because the only time you're fobbing is on the weekend or the first person that comes in, and everybody else is automatic, so it doesn't make sense to put a hole in that brand new panel.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be the same, the same on one side as it is on the other, and then they'll just put a blank over the existing holes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
It's gonna be on the brand new panel though. And if it doesn't need to be moved, if it doesn't really need to
Just
be
run the
moved,
wires.
they just can run the wires around the frame.
Yeah.
Because.
I mean, they're gonna have to get into this other side. I would think they're gonna have to have access on that other side anyway to get the wires to the mechanism, you know what I mean, for the wire to actually physically get to the mechanism on the other side, there's gonna have to be some sort of hole on the other side, you know what I mean? Because otherwise they're not gonna be able to see how it's connected,
Wire it up.
in order to wire it, you know what I mean? You don't have a hole there to see what you're doing.
We definitely can ask.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll ask them, but.
There's it's like a little solenoid in there that releases the
Mhm.
latch, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Those are good questions.
and I think that's all that I had that we are going to discuss. Oh, yes, so, we did have a request last week, from Magistrate Amoroso. He sent me an email, we discussed it, and he sent me an email, asking if it would be possible to get a window placed in his office. He just asked that, or he said that there was a new window placed in Judge Rock's office, but later covered up, not sure if it's still there, it could be used. And I didn't look into that, yet, but just a request for a window be installed in his office.
The outside of the building.
Being on the alley side then?
It has to be.
Yeah. I just didn't know if it was down that hallway, then more light coming down that way. Oh, okay, I know where his office is now.
It'd have to be. The other side. Yeah. Yeah, you want me to contact Dawn, and come down and look at it or what?
Yeah, we talking, you said the alley side, so it's in the brick.
Is it, well, do you have to go through, I'm not sure what's in the back of the alley. Do you have to go through the brick or have you looked?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure
I haven't looked
either.
at that either. We'll take a look at it.
You want me to get a hold of Jonathan, see if he can look at it for us? Kestner, he does a lot of our little things.
Okay.
That our maintenance guys can do, does some of it, not a lot, but does some.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Cause it's not, you're not looking at a big price problem.
All right, does Mike think he could do it, Mike Smith? Have you talked to him?
We haven't, and again, I'm not sure what it is break or what I have to go through.
Not the one that fixed the south side of the annex on Jill's side with the roof and everything. See the one that did that in my building? I'm trying to remember.
I think that was done before me.
Yeah, cause that was part of the initial. For some reason, I was thinking he did that whole side, so he promoted the guys.
All right,
That's all I have.
thank you. Not too bad being in here.
No.
That's the last commission meeting. Met with, just talked over response one with Lauren for, Lauren Brenner about an hour or so, just, it's been a 1 year. The program, so she's gonna try to get us a report and come and give us a verbal report on that. That was on, July 29th, July 30th, down at the offices down there, met with Jill. For a while and then paid taxes. The August 1st, had a thing in the park, where we did a fun day for kids out at Brooks Park. August 2nd through the 4th, Dutch and I were in the audit training meetings in Oglesby Park. August 5th, went to Piedmont City Council. Meeting, New Creek canceled theirs August 6th. Mineral County Livestock Association meeting. The 7th, 8th, and 9th, I was out at the Peach Festival. On the 9th, spoke at just did a greeting at the Peach Festival, and then we had a service out there. And that brings us to today.
Yeah, I was at the, I met with, some young lady that's not here now to talk to her about, watching over, projects that we have, and I'll get to that later. I attended the ethics training, that the state gives. In June, I was at the Moral Line, over in Romney. I had to go to Region 8, some signing in the papers, and also, I've been talking with some of the Board of Education members on the August 21st, around 7:15. They're opening this up for anybody that wants to attend, but they're encouraging the elected officials to go to a school around 7:15, 7:20 in the morning when the kids come in, and to greet the kids. And I told them I would announce that. So if you're not doing nothing August 21st, pick a school else you want to go to. They don't really recommend everybody go to the same school, but go to the schools you have connections with. Let the kids know you're there to support them and welcome them back and so forth.
What time is that?
It's around 7:15, 7:20 in the morning, so.
Now, because of school security, do they need to list the people, what schools they're going to?
They never said nothing about that. I don't think you'll be in the schools, I think
Just
you'll be
outside.
outside.
Okay.
Just copying the kids, cheering them on.
You want me to pass that on to the other elected officials
Please,
then?
if you would, yeah, please do that. And, that's pretty basically and I do want to thank the commission here for sending me some flyers from the sisters, so thank you very much for doing that. And, that's about it. You got anything?
Really?
You want my report?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I forgot you, Judge, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. All right, so since the last meeting, well, first off, let me welcome Jennifer. I guess this is our first meeting, so just want to mention that as well as Jason did earlier and welcome her to the first meeting. And but since our last meeting, I had a Zoom meeting with EADS and Region 8, and that had to do with the Carpendale Sewer Project. Just listened in. Potomac Highlands Airport Authority, we had a meeting on Thursday, the 30th. Oh, wait a minute, that was canceled at the last minute, so never mind, forget that. This was, well, it's kind of more personal, but I just want to add that I went to a Black Bears game on Friday, the 31st. My granddaughter actually went and danced. What's the name of the dance academy?
Forget.
Whatever, the local dance academy. They did a dance out there for the Black Bears, minor league baseball, and went out there and watched that game. And then, so then Sunday, 2nd through the 4th was at state auditor training. And I just want to add that the state auditor picked up my bill for the hotel room since I'm the president of the County Commissioners Association. And then also since I had a personal event in the Wheeling area on Saturday, plus the Black Bear games on Friday night, those are personal things. I do not feel that it's right that I charge mileage, so I would not be submitting a bill for mileage. So actually my trip to the auditor training and stuff, there will be no cost to the county for that. Just wanted to throw that in there. And what else did I have? I had a couple other things. I was at the Peach Festival on Saturday. That was the only day that I could make it. I was down at the Peach Festival and walked around. And have had a lot of conversations. With this Valley Link transmission line picking up, there's people reaching out to all the counties from Morrill. Plus, he's reaching out to me because of being the president of the association and trying to get support and help to go against this Valley Link transmission line. So I've dealt with a lot of phone calls from that. I did have an executive committee meeting while we was at the auditor training for the County Commission Association. There was an executive committee meeting. And I think that's all that I have. I did have a discussion with Fountain PSD about there's some issues over there with the well at Holman, the Holman well. They're having some issues over there with that, and but that's but they're working through that. Oh, there we go. I thought I hit something. Anyway, But there's some issues with the home and well and that they're working through. I believe that's all that I have.
Okay. So I reckon the next thing is the, accounts payable.
All right, you guys have fun. I'm gonna get off here.
Thanks, that's going.
Talk to y'all later.
Yeah, have fun.
I plan to.
These are the estates and exonerations. Cindy's gonna finish up on out here.
Does that stuff include those two, invoices for the finishing up?
Move forward. Move forward.
We can go back and get a copy of the signed check to send to the, I'm so sorry, minor.
Is it a grant?
Yes.
Yeah.
For
The
the
ARPA's?
Yes.
American Rescue?
Does it include that stuff?
Yeah, they're in there too. Yes, she'll pay those, she'll scan them and send them to Eileen and then Eileen.
Okay, and I'm just understanding.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. You have to ask.
Right, I will, I'm a question master, so you know.
I had to take a phone call. Can y'all go back to OU? Bring me up to speed.
He didn't really,
Is there anything major?
no, he didn't really give a report on that because he said he's gonna wait till next time.
I'm joking.
Oh, okay, I didn't.
I just wanted to make sure, I mean, I just now was on a conference call and told them about y'all picking up the extra employees and taking care of the regions thing.
Yeah, I knew about that for a while, but
I didn't have a chance to ask him, but I was talking to him about, Bill Howard, the director of the party. When they built their new building, he had a drive-through window put in the back like a bank. So in case there's another COVID or something. And the funny thing is in that room where he's got that, he's got stainless steel in the back. That's where they process animals or possibly rats and stuff. And I'm like sitting there. But he says, hey, we're just trying to.
I got
Fish.
some.
Square away.
Oh, perfect. She don't pay it all?
That's just December.
Yeah, cause here's,
Our office of emergency.
here's this one,
That's your cellular. Their cellular.
Something I don't like their reports on. Yeah, got this many COVIDs on.
Unless that was last month.
That's like, up in the county had an actual case on these.
Report is,
It's
I
passed.
need your cellular. I mean, T-Mobile phone is what's wrong. I don't blame you if I was keeping it well with it.
Well, I guess I'm gonna go spread kindness and love. to Everybody else, like they say, or ruin their day. They'll look through the glass, go, oh, yeah, I'm going back to the bread. No, it is good to see you. So where's Doug?
He's on vacation. He's on vacation. I think he's at the beach, but I'm not sure.
I was on the phone talking to one of my buddies, my best man in my wedding that, we've been friends since the '80s, since we were lifeguards beside each other in Myrtle. And, a couple days ago, they lost somebody that saved a little girl on the stand north where he was. He was here and I was next stand south. And, it was 8:20 at night. And a girl got caught in a riptide. He was able to go out there and get her and, got her to safety and just. He came up 2 days later.
Wow.
And I was talking to him on the phone and said, dude, you know how many times we've seen that? And how many times we've been in it? And I mean, when you're prepared, it's kind of fun. I mean, not the rescues and people are scared to death, but here's the thing, you got buoys and flotation devices that you're trying to get out there to them. If you go into the riptide, it's like somebody put a motor on your bridge. I mean, you're flying. And the first thing you do is get there and say, all right, everybody, hold on, we're gonna start pulling you in. Everybody gets on a floater or something, and then you get them out, bring them in, and by that time, somebody else is coming.
We was down there to the Outer Banks here a couple of years ago. Guess what? We're still on the beach.
Shark,
Huh?
shark,
On
Portuguese man of war.
Friday.
a body.
Yeah, it's sad, it's not good.
You know what they used to tell us? They said, guys, this is kind of brutal. They said, if it's fresh, somebody's gone down, you gotta do CPR on them. Get them clear and get all the water out and start CPR. He says that if it's a body that's been out and it comes up, then what you do is you just put a towel over their face and act like you're doing CPR. Because what happens is if you put a towel over their face, you stand there on this, they gotta call the coroner. But if you're acting like you're doing active CPR, you know, then they can come in and stretcher and take them off the bench on the back. And I know that's really brutal, but you know, you're talking about Myrtle Beach, something like that, they're already trying to keep them spread out, but they all gather around.
A lot of people don't realize how dangerous beach is. They are dangerous.
I should have told Dutch. If they got jellyfish, you can get Adolph's meat tenderizer and Neutrogena, Neosporin ointment, mix that up, and that protein in the meat tenderizer stops the, stinging of the jellyfish. That doesn't work on a Portuguese man of war, buddy. You gotta take those.
I was going to tell you, in jellyfish, you don't need a tenderizer. They're soft enough.
No, I'm talking the sting. Now,
Oh, I know what you're saying, but I was just.
I used to laugh because the adults would come up with one little red spot. And you're like going, okay, you know, now if you feel nauseous or anything, go to the hospital, you know. And then a kid comes up and their arm is just burned up as red as the thing right here. And you put it on, you go, does it hurt? No. You tell mom, okay, well, if he develops the symptoms of an allergic reaction, take him to the hospital. Then next thing you know, 5 minutes later, they're back out there on the float going at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would take a picture of these two working.
I guarantee you ought to,
I'm joking.
when this comes off,
He's like going, I'm gonna smack you one day, making comments like that.
no, when this comes off, and before next Thursday, come over one day. I'll show you what work's all about. And I'll
What'd you do?
Oh, I had Corporal Tom.
Oh,
But I'm
okay.
getting ready next, not this Thursday, but next to have this
Well,
week.
you know, they say corporal tunnel comes from this right here,
No,
or this right here.
I've shot for
It is not this right here,
Yeah,
or this right here, or,
but, see,
I'm just.
I snore. My wife says I snore. I've never heard myself. And I told her I do not snore.
I've never heard myself snore.
I've never heard myself snore. And I
No.
told her, I said, I don't snore. I dream.
My wife says I snore too, and every time I wake up, she's going, I'm just adjusting your pillow.
Yeah. She tells me that I snore, and I said, no, honey, I dream. Yeah, right. I said, I'm dreaming about riding a fire saw.
Wait till she records you.
She's not watching, so you can say whatever you want.
But the other day, my wife was snoring, I was standing there listening, I was going like, I'll tell her she snored, and she'll go, I did. Of course, she's got 2 cats, that's when I tell her, you got a hairball.
I've
That's why
been,
you're snoring.
I've been doing some of her projects, showing stuff.
Good, you should.
Let me show you a couple of them. You're gonna like this. She's got more projects for me than you can believe. Where did I put that?
I'll tell you, the one I saw this morning is pretty cool. Some boy out in Arkansas, it's summer practice for football.
Yeah.
He put his helmet on and he's standing there and the coach saw something move and he says, come over here. Took the helmet off. There's a snake in his helmet in the liner. They thought it was a copperhead, and then they called the animal control people, come over there, there's a 2-foot long water box. And on the inside of the liner, so he didn't feel it. And I guess it was trying to, you know, it started feeling him moving around and started looking for a way to maybe get out.
He's forced, look.
You ain't kidding, he's looking.
Roll it up when you look at it. Just one right there. Just walk.
Oh, okay. That's cute.
That's my, I forgot to add something for my.
Is that supposed to be Dutch or Jason?
No,
Okay.
neither one of them.
Being a snake.
You see that right there?
He's right here. That's your Sasquatch.
I'll tell you,
Here's a lot of joker.
that thing looks so real, that right there at the bottom. That the FedEx lady, among the house, she's a real nice lady. And I talk to her all the time.
I can imagine. I'll take a video of those packages.
I'm in the garage, and she got out and I told her, I said, ma'am, I said, I just want you to know that maybe you're now you're being watched. She said, well, what do you mean being watched? I said, look up there. She looked at that and she started laughing. She said, I was off a couple of days last week and the guy that was driving for me jumped out of the van and looked up there and seen that scared me to death. It looks real. It really looks real. My daughter knows.
Well, this is West Virginia now. You tell somebody that and the first thing they're gonna do is they're gonna look at you.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like checking, you know.
But I just, then my wife, between my wife and my grandkids. And they like it. Now they got, my one granddaughter is getting ready to build a house back in there on me. Well, we're giving them some ground. She wants me to start building these things. All the way back the road, them guys that's waving at you.
Mm-hmm.
She wants one of them to put back. I said, Morgan, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work to build them things. You know that?
But your dad.
I know. But it is a lot of work.
See, here's the thing. Every time she looks at those things, she's gonna think about you and how nice it was that you made it.
Yeah. Them kids,
Then you can have fun with it and say that one second one back looks like that boy used to go out with in high school. And she'll be like, now you're really pushing a button here on.
Now let's look at these. You'll like these.
No, you were talking about being ornery, doing stuff like that. When we were hanging out and wanted to be ornery, we'd go down to the beach at night. When you go to the beach for a store,
Roll them
you
down.
get a rubber shark about that big fishing line and tie it to its mouth. And then sit up in the shadows and have one person go down to the water. They just drop that thing down to the water. As people are walking up, you're like this. And they get right at the right spot, you drop your hand, you can get them dancing and they start cussing you.
What's that?
Not like the last one.
Oh, I'll tell you one thing, when you first look at him, he looks real. My daughter says once in a while, and she knows he's there, and she says once in a while when I drive in, she said, it'll frighten you. It's just that sudden, and then she gets to her, or realizes what's going on with that. It does, it looks real. It really does. Huh?
It looked real enough there.
I got one little granddaughter, a little great grand. She won't go up there to her. She's afraid of it. She will not go.
But did you didn't go to the quarter H dedication, did you?
No, out at Tucker County.
Yeah.
No, I didn't go.
Well, the governor and, he said, you know, it's great to have it for commercial and also emergency and everything, and it's part of the bigger project. And then Shelley Moore Campbell got in there and said the same thing. And then she said her granddaughter, her son was taking them back to DC and they were going, on the quarter H thing. And she said her granddaughter calls the old route to Parsons, that curvy, windy road that'll kill you or that I hate or something.
You mean from Parsons on out
to Carnes?
Yeah.
Carnes. So she'll be glad that that's done.
Oh my.
Well, then, Riley Moore goes up there and Riley Moore didn't have any remarks prepared and he goes up there and he wants to finish quarter H. And he said, you know, folks, I'll tell you why I like quarter H. He said, sure, it does commercial and it helps with emergency and everything like that. He says, but I don't like Maryland. He goes, I like Maryland, but he said, the thing that I want is I want to be able to walk out of my house in the panhandle with my gun in my pocket, get in the car and not have to pull over and put it in a trunk, 4 different places so I can go through Maryland part. I want to be able to drive the whole way with my gun in my pocket, Charles.
Yeah.
And I'm standing over there staffing. Well, I get caught up in what he's saying, like, you know, I can't believe he said that, and I'm Second Amendment too, and all of a sudden I'm like, I hit twice, and you know, sometimes you can do applause points or whatever, but I hit twice. And all of a sudden I realized nobody else was fighting. And all of a sudden, everybody starts looking over at me, and I'm a staffer, and he looks over at me and he goes, at least somebody likes it, and everybody started laughing, but the whole thing of it was, you could tell that everybody was listening, they didn't have to clap, when the whole crowd laughed. Now, I imagine I didn't see anybody, you know, I'm sure there's some folks in there that didn't like what he's talking about, but most everybody was clapping, I was going like, wow. And, you know, I really screwed up, but at the same time, it turned out all right, because that's one of the gifts that he has for public speaking is he comes off with these quips. And I mean, it makes everybody laugh, and I mean, you know.
That was approved.
She needs your signature here.
But then after that, everybody was telling me, man, you know, that is absolutely right, that drives me so crazy.
Yeah.
It's true. Well, see, when I first started coming over here, I was going on 50.
This one here.
And that takes you right through Oakland, up near Oakland and everything, and I was going like, you know, that's why I come over to Davis and come down and stay within the boundaries of West Virginia. So. Oh, you talking about funny? What was it they were talking about, Maryland, that, something that, somebody was saying something that the Congress could take back certain federal buildings, because federal buildings are under control of the Congress because it's the purse strings. And they could take those buildings back from DC and then give all the residential buildings to Maryland, like it used to be. All residential structures, people, you know, but take back the buildings. And I think it has to do with a lot of maintenance and funding and everything else like that. But I was sitting there going like, boy, do you know how? And also somebody said they need to get rid of district courts up there. And, I'm just like going,
You know, and I didn't say this.
oh, you didn't?
I didn't say this, but it was been brought up to me. I've got some friends in moved from Maryland here. They got. I didn't tell them what they told me. You know what it is.
You need to tell me another time, or do we want them to?
Well, I'm curious. I didn't say it. I'm just repeating what I was told. Come to state.
What?
Come to state of Maryland.
Communist state of?
Maryland, that's how.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the ones that's moved over here, the friends of mine, what they prefer, that's what it says.
And Brent just moved from McColl over, he said he got an $18,000 raise. Like what? Because that's how much he was paying his taxes.
Oh, it's not good.
Well, the only thing I've ever heard like that is somebody called California the People's Republic of California.
Right now, there's a few states that I wouldn't live in if you give me $1 million a year job and a fancy home. I wouldn't move to Michigan, I wouldn't move.
Well, the population numbers are gonna tell you.
Yeah.
They're gonna lose representative seats and others are gonna gain.
I wouldn't move to New York. Wouldn't move to California.
New Jersey, Illinois.
I would move to Maryland.
Now, see, here's the thing that's gonna crush everybody there. They have so many unfunded liability obligations, retirement and all their stuff. And that's what, says
I have to.
Yeah, I need to sign.
Oh, there's some things in there, son.
Yeah, I'll see y'all.
It's getting me depressed. No, they're good to see y'all.
Yeah.
Keep them straight.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But are you,
I'm with Congressman Riley Moore's office.
okay.
Good to see you.
What's your name?
Red.
Rhett. Oh, okay.
I don't know if she took the card.
Yeah.
I'll give you another.
I remember myself.
But with this crowd, I'm gonna bring you a wooden spoon next week.
Okay. Be prepared.
Are you doing any?
That's why I was joking around with him about the health department. Talking about Bill Hours, thanks for watching, baby. You know. We trading on, no, I'm good.
Yep.
If I buy anything else, I'd have to buy another gun set.
You ain't got one going to?
Yeah.
Got two.
He's probably got sniff fuel out.
Oh, I know.
He's got two and then more toward on his bed.
You'll like this, you'll like this. I saw pictures of the disaster area over in Lewis County. It was so bad in this one place, it was a gun safe in the rain. We were there morning after, it's like 7 o'clock, and all the different uniform groups are up there in the parking lot. They got the command center. By the way, that's the one thing I didn't talk to y'all about. I don't know if y'all have Starlink. Last night, Barbara went to Starlink because they got dead zones and they ended up getting hit with the dead zones during the disaster up there where they had flood areas. And Randolph, all their deputies have it. And so what happened is we were out there and all of them were out there figuring out what they're gonna do, shutting down Weston and going searching and everything. This guy walks up and he goes, where's Officer Emergency Management? And pointed to him, and he says, I'm from up in OEM up in Mon County. We got an extra Starlink command center if y'all need it. And they said, well, that's ours right there. Talk to Upshur. Well, he went and talked to the sheriff, Nate, and the water had just gone down Lost Creek. They drove that thing down and drove it over to Buchanan and set it up. So a lot of people are going to the Starlink option because, and it took all the dead zones out of what we had in Randolph. So, but that was one of the things that I was going, you know, I'm sure they've already been talking
That
about.
Walmart there
Flooded.
the flood, is that right there, right before you get on
Yep.
79? Onto the right?
Yep,
Where did all that water come from?
down and off the mountain.
I didn't
There,
realize.
there were round rolls in the median of 33.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
I never realized it.
I'm standing there with all this stuff going on as they're dealing with it, and I wrote down this list. I went ahead and just left it here. No operational grocery stores. Possible fresh water. They had a pump that might go out at the freshwater plant. They were talking to them in the National Guard about bringing in water. Vehicle fuel. Now, that's another thing. Your head guy over here for Sheets. He's born and raised and lives over in Purdy County, right there in Moorfield. I'll get the phone number because the whole thing of it is you call him and they'll change the delivery schedule and make sure y'all have plenty of gas if something happens to the other gas stations. Because that's what they did down there for them.
Yeah, I stop there Sheets every time I go out through there.
Yeah, flood water got into the wells, so they had to have a whole bunch of bottled water. And then they even had to get a landing zone from the National Guard and all this other stuff. Oxygen supply for hospital and home health. They were running out of oxygen, had to get it from Morgantown. So, I mean, there's gonna be a whole lot of stuff. As a matter of fact, when I was on the call that I had to get on, I was talking to our guy who does a lot of the mailers out of the congressman's office. And I told him, I said, hey, we need to put a little spot on these mailers that has a Q code that says 72 hours on you. And here's a Q code, and if you download it, it'll give you the full list of all the stuff you should have in your 72-hour kit.
Yeah.
Because I said, you know, we gotta start getting the word out. I mean, we can hunker down.
Nobody got killed.
Two.
Was it two?
What happened is now, you know, you hear the stories. Man, we heard some incredible stories. I mean, 4 houses got wiped out of this little ditch that ended up, and, the guy said when he got there, 4 of his grandkids were in the house. He got there and when he waded up houses at his knees, when he brought one of them out, it was already his thighs. So he went and got a steel pipe, a T-bar, and went across the road with a rope with a sledgehammer, drove that thing into the ground, tied it off and took the rope and tied it to the front of the house where the porch is. He said, I was hauling these kids like this with the water pulling me. And he got all of them out. But what happened was they went around and told these people, you know, we're coming to help you get out. These people said, oh, we're okay. He said, all right, we're telling you, we're not coming back. Well, these people, it started getting bad, so they got in the truck, it was so bad, they were packed down in there, and they said you could see them in the truck. They had so much cars and all the stuff, they had to bring in heavy equipment, to pull that stuff out before they could get them out of the dump. So don't think you can beat this water.
You can't do it.
And then it comes off, everything's so saturated, rocks and trees come off, and that's what clogged it up. And when we were on the side by side riding, we're looking up there, going like, should we really be right here? Cause I mean, I'm looking at the double red yellow line right here outside the left side of the side by side, and there's no pavement. And they're putting rocks in there trying to make a bed.
Yeah.
So they wrote, yeah, it's unbelievable how strong this stuff is.
Water is something, they, just because you can swim, you better be careful. I've seen that stuff.
Well,
It's not good.
Like I told you, I was a beach person, and one of my buddies in Emerald Isle, North Carolina, their family owns a pier. And what we used to do is when there were hurricane waves, his brother would be in there, he'd go, well, I'm going to, it's against the law to jump off the pier, and their mom's the mayor. So he'd go, well, I'm going in the back to put up some stock. They go in the back and we get our surfboard here running down the pier real quick. And I mean, when you're standing, you get over the rail, when the wave comes through, shakes the pier, and you're standing there with your board, and you time it, and jump. You got one ride, but when you wipe out, whitewater's this thing.
Tell you one thing, what frightened me, there's two things about the beach that I'm not impressed with, and is the water, the undertow. You gotta be careful of that. Second thing is, we was down there, I think this was the Outer Banks, I don't think it wasn't Myrtle Beach, it was the Outer Banks. We was down there one time, we was fishing out there, and he pulled in a shark. And I don't mean he wasn't very far out, it was as long as his tail. Yeah, they can be close to where people realize. Like that.
You talking about, since we're talking about our ornery history.
Well, my history wasn't on.
No, it was early on-site ornery, I used to train the golfers, and so what would happen is they have to pass a swim test with the city before they can go out there by themselves. And what it is if you don't have any relief guards, you have to work 7 days a week. The longest stretch I ever worked was like 68 days.
In a row?
So, yeah, and we didn't have any relief guards that year. And so whenever they have somebody training, they come by and they go, all right, surf school, and they go surf school. And well, surf school, some days you work on CPR, some days you work on rescue, some days you just do a conditioning swim on time and everything. So these. So these guys don't know anything about it. So all of a sudden they're sitting there going, what do we do at surf school? Oh, you swim down to the pier and get out and run back under 13 minutes. You know, and they're like, really? Well, you get your buoy and they tell everybody, all right, hit it. So you're swimming out there and that thing, you can only crawl and breaststroke, you can't side stroke. So you're breaststroking out. And I'm looking back and I see them walking around, they go, how far are we gonna go out? And I go, well, they always say they don't want you to bounce on the bottom. So they're gonna make us go out a little bit further. And you're going like, man, we're way out here. So I look and I see them start moving around the Jeep because they're going to get the air horn and the towel to hit the air horn and go out with the towel. You're telling all these stories online, aren't you? I hope nobody watches it, because I'll be fired. But, so all of a sudden, I see them all of a sudden, they get the towel and hit the horn. And right before they do, I looked at the guy and said, you know, if something hits you out here, nobody's gonna help you. You're on your own. They go, what? By that time the horn goes off. Well, buddy, they're always walking on water. They're trying to get it out of water so bad. And I'm sitting there watching them swim and I'm going, awesome, I'm gonna get a day off. So I did. And then 3 weeks later, you're telling them saying, hey, I told you about that out there. Nobody's gonna help you. And they go, yeah. And I go, I was just messing with you. Well, then they call me something really not nice. But then they're doing it for somebody the next year.
I didn't realize it.
Oh, yeah.
in Weston. No, it was Spokane, where it was, same run. That's all. But I'll tell you, a lot of people, there were a lot of stories that, of people doing extraordinary things to help other people out.
I'm gonna tell you, the people still look around too. West Virginia, something happens,
Oh, but everybody comes running.
they're there. They are there. And
You're in a crisis.
Yes.
We really are.
Well, Steve Wyckoff, he's the Office of Emergency Management over there. He happened to be in the right place at the right time, and folks were getting swept away coming down the stream, and had a rope and things and got them. And he told me, he said, Rhett, after I got those folks out, I looked up, here comes this child. And I threw it. And I think he had like a rope on a, flotation, basically life vest or whatever. He said, I threw that thing and it went behind the child. And I was like, oh my God. You know, he said, I was pulling in fast as I could. And the kids looking at me, and by then it was too late for me to make another throw. He said, but Lord must have been with her, because she grabbed a hold of the limb on a tree further down. And the junior fire department got there with their rescue stuff, and they were able to get out there and get her. How old was she? Under 10 years old. But he just pulled her mother in to have one in her arms. I mean, and that, I mean, that can happen just that fast.
oh, it didn't happen right, yeah. Yeah, it's.
So. Well, I tell you, I hate they lost the two people and, you know, but when you talk to these people that do a lot of this, they're sitting there going like, let me tell you, we're lucky it wasn't in the winter. We're lucky it wasn't in the middle of the night. We're okay, because a whole lot of the other elements could have made it so much worse. And, you know, that's why, you know, people just need to, what is it? Don't take a chance, or they say about going through water.
Yeah. I know, we had that water here a year ago in May, going home. I questioned if I should go through a couple of them streams. You couldn't see the road. And I was sitting there looking at one of them, and here comes school. I just don't think I would have done it. If I'd have been driving the bus, I would have done that. But
You looked at all the accounts payable? Look there, except for.
yeah, I had to
to make a motion to at least accept the accounts payable.
yeah.
And purchase
I
orders.
thought y'all were
And
out.
purchase orders in the states.
Sure, I'm yapping, telling stories.
You wanna make a motion for all them?
I hate the motion.
And I'll
for
probably
all
not
the
read
reasons. And interestingly enough,
And I
he's on with somebody else, so when it comes time next
And
year, look for these things for public safety. A lot of that stuff is like, probably use they'll probably want their own Starlink.
Man, go ahead and stop the court. And I'll make a motion to adjourn. I think I do sign.
Okay, I second that. Stop recording.